Hello. Well, here we're going to talk about these seats, and not the front of the seats, the back of these seats. Look at these seats. They're awesome. Look how they curve out here. Does that not look awesome? Alright, internet world, you probably have been wondering what I've been driving for the last year after giving up my beautiful 2018 Audi RS3. Well, here it is. I've been driving the Audi 2018 Audi S5. Now, why did I buy an Audi S5 over an RS3? So in this video, hopefully I'll give you some glimpses on why I did that, why I made the change, and what things I like about this car and what things I do like about my old RS3. All right, so for a lot of you, what you will notice if you go out there and you shop an S5 versus an RS3, you're gonna find that the numbers are very similar. And it's hard to make the decision on what to pick. On one side, the RS3 is fast, sporty, it makes you feel about 10 years younger. That motor is untouchable, it is so much fun to drive. And then you drive the S5 and it's very close. It just doesn't have that edge, but it's a lot more comfortable. It's the same money, it's more versatile. So what do you pick? So hopefully this video gives you some insight on what the S5 brings to the table and hopefully makes the job easier for you to pick the RS3 or the S5. All right, so over the last year of me having this car, I put on about 6,000 miles, and most of those miles are really done in the city with really short trips. I don't do anything long, so when I show you the fuel consumption, you guys will be pretty impressed. All right, so I did lose about 50 horsepower on the S5 over the RS3, but I also gained a lot of weight compared to that car. So one of the big differences I noticed in both cars is the quality. The quality engine in both cars are phenomenal, but it's the interior where the RS3 really lacks over the S5. The S5 has just a plush interior. The exterior is in the eye of the beholder. Which do you prefer, the RS3 outside look or the S5 outside look? So one of the reasons I changed from an RS3 to an S5 is the S5 is just larger. So I have an 8-year-old son, I can throw him in the back, it's comfortable, it's quiet. The car is pretty much almost as fast as the RS3. The RS3 does 0 to 100 in 4 seconds. This thing does 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. Do I notice a big difference in the middle of winter with snow tires? I don't. Historically, I've always had cars with color. I've never bought white, I barely buy black. It's always blue, red, orange, and we won't talk about the others. But this time, I decided either pick white or black. And I was very close to picking black, except for black is awesome when it's clean and it's new and there's no swirls. And me personally, I don't really have time to sit there and wash my car all the time, and that's why I bought white. White's easy to keep clean, well, because it never really looks dirty. This car has adaptive suspension, it's got adaptive steering, and it's got the carbon side mirrors and the carbon trunk lid. Another option I opted to buy was the advanced driver assistance, and that's basically front radars in the car to sort of detect the vehicle in front of you. So what it does is automatically brakes for you, it keeps you in your lane, it steers you back in, all those types of little features. I pretty much just turn most of them off. I don't like any of those features. The only time I do use it is if I'm going on a really long drive, which, as I said, I never really do. So if you're the type to take your car for a long drive, I'd probably opt for this feature. So with the adaptive cruise control, when you have your active lane assist active, as well as your adaptive cruise control active, then both systems work in this way. When you come to a full stop, the system actually stays on for 5 seconds, and then you let go of the brake. No, you don't touch anything. The car will come to a full stop. As soon as the car moves in front, the car pulls away as well. So you can come to a full stop. Most cruise control systems are you drive up, as soon as you come to a stop, it disactivates. This one comes right to a stop. The car in front of you moves 3 feet forward, you're moving 3 feet forward. So in that way, it's a great feature to have, but only if you're doing highway driving in the city, and if you're a driver like me, you won't use it. This being a 4-door coupe, they have no frame on the door. They're frameless doors, front and back. What I can tell though is the back glass to close the door, because a lot of people are not going to use the handle to close the back door. They're going to use the side, they're going to go like this, and that's a lot stronger than this. This feels like it has some flexibility, so I wonder over a 5-year, 10-year period how strong this will hold up. The second thing I don't like about these doors, from a functionality standpoint, is in the winter. So if you live in a cold climate, in the winter, like most frameless doors, when you close it up in the winter, this does get stuck. So if you park a car outside and you get freezing rain, good luck. This window's stuck, and every time you close the door, it feels like the window's gonna break. So because this has a powered hatchback, you can simply just walk up to it, give it a bit of a kick, stand back, and watch it not open. All right, so let's try that again. Open sesame. Now you can set the height of this based on your garage height. So you can set this a little bit lower by hitting the down button, hitting it again, and then holding it down. And it is now pre-programmed to that height. This feature is a lifesaver. So in terms of usable trunk space, the RS3 is obviously a smaller car, so it's going to have a smaller trunk. But the S5 Sportback, or an A5 Sportback at that, just makes this so much easier. You can grab anything you want and you can just throw it in. You don't have to worry about anything that has an odd size. The seats do fold down, and with the tonneau cover back pulled out, which is fairly straightforward, you get a ton of room. So if you ever get stranded in your car and you need somewhere to sleep, the S5 Sportback is perfect. All right, so in terms of trunk room, there is a lot of space. Ian, who's actually taping this video right now, will tell you that I'm ranging anywhere from 5'8.5" to 5'9.5". So take that with what you will, but there's enough room in here for me. Hello. Well, here we're going to talk about these seats, and not the front of the seats, the back of these seats. Look at these seats. They're awesome. Look how they curve out here. Does that not look awesome? The reality is people are not buying four-door sedans anymore. So manufacturers are coming up with creative ways to get butts in seats. And as fun as this is to show you the trunk, this is what people want. People want cars so they can sit lower, feel sporty, and have something versatile. So they can put whatever they want in this trunk. This car's fast, it's versatile, you can use it all year round, and it's just not a one-trick pony. All right, so the cluster on the S5 and the RS3 are slightly different because the RS3 has R8 features, such as boost and the G meter and that kind of stuff, which the S5s don't have. However, in terms of acceleration, what I do notice on the RS3 is right now I'm at a T intersection. I'm making a hard full 90 left. In the RS3, if I hammered it, I would definitely get front slippage. There's just no way around it. But in this S5, I don't get that. The back actually comes out a little bit. And the shifting is hella fast. So when you saw that part of revving the exhaust, in the RS3, it's definitely a lot louder. It's a lot more aggressive. And in the S5, when I did the same thing, it was like it was computer controlled. But when you drive the S5, that exhaust tone isn't as hard, but it's a ton better than just me sitting there revving the engine. You actually have to drive the car for you to hear the kickbacks. There isn't a lot of burping when I did that exhaust test when I was standstill. But when I'm driving it, the exhaust is definitely a lot more active, and it definitely does burp. In terms of throttle control, when I hammer on an S5, it's definitely a lot more calmer. The RS3 is just like aggressive. It's just a lot more aggressive, which is a lot more fun. There's no doubt. But this is fast enough. Because how much power do you really need? So if you want an all-around car in terms of acceleration, the S5 is close. It's not the same, but it's close. So for the money, the RS3 does edge it out, but the RS3 is just aggressive and raw from an Audi's perspective. So in terms of picking one or the other, another factor would be where you live. If you live in an environment that it's in the north where it's snowing all the time and the weather's brutal and you need the space, the S5 is the car for you. The S5, as I said, it's quieter, it's got enough power, there's more space, it's more refined. There feels like there's more money put in the cabin, the insulation, the suspension in terms of comfort than the RS3. The RS3, most of the money is in the exterior looks and the motor. So in today's financial climate, people say they keep cars for a long time, but the reality is that people generally lease a car or keep a car for 2 or 3 years. So in that space, I would for sure get an RS3 in your diet. But if it's a longer term thing and you got families and you just need a versatile car and it's an all-round car. And I used to always say that the S4 for the longest time was Audi's most versatile, best bang for money car. But this S5 does it for me. So with my driving habits, I average 11.3 liters per 100 kilometers, and that is driving at an average speed of 42 kilometers an hour. So that basically means that I'm driving this car at a snail's pace and I'm still averaging 11 liters per 100 kilometers. That is great gas mileage. If I do this exact same thing on an older generation Q7, I'm averaging about 25 liters per 100 kilometers. So that just gives you a breakdown of how good this car is on fuel. As big as it is and as fast as it is, that number is awesome. That number should really be closer to 13 and a half, but I'm getting 11. Comparatively, in the RS3, that number would not go under 17. All right, so this car has massage seats. And when I say massage seats, it's not your typical massage seats like full shiatsu massage. It's still a sporty seat, but it has 3 different variations that you can pick. You can pick knead, you can pick stretch, and you can pick wave. And each of those 3 have 5 different intensities. So it does have some flexibility in terms of what you can pick and stuff like that, but to have a massage seat, remember my old vehicle, the RS3, didn't have any of the sort. It didn't even have power seat. So if you have an RS, you have a seat that's similar form fitted to this, but doesn't have the soft leather that this one does, and it definitely doesn't have the massage. So that's something in terms of the RS3 to S5 comparison. I would say that these seats are a lot more comfortable, a lot more user-friendly, and any body can really fit in these seats because you can open them up and close them in, which you can't do in an RS3. So in the last year of having this car has been awesome. It's one of the most versatile cars Audi makes, and I'm happy to have driven it for the last year. But I'm looking forward to my next vehicle, which I'm going to pick up later on this week. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.